Hi, I'm Jim Knudson. I'm with Industrial Specialties Manufacturing, or ISM, and we welcome you. Sorry we're not doing this live. We're available, though, for live chat through your Pack Expo planner. Again, I'm with Industrial Specialties Manufacturing. I am the Sales Development Director, actually New Business Development Manager, which is a fancy way of saying sales. And we also have Brenda Denny with us from United Silicone. Brenda is the North American product manager and has a ton of experience. She'll be behind the camera working chats and also interjecting her opinion and her viewpoint because she has a ton of it. And we're glad to have Brenda with us.
Hello all, good afternoon to you. A pleasure to be here.
Thank you. What we're going to be doing today is having a conversation about silicone rollers and some of the challenges that we've seen when out in your plant, which feels like the good old days and can't wait to get back there. And also the calls that Brenda and I field from you calling in saying, we have these kind of challenges, how can you help us? Then we'll go through a short video, then do a follow-up after that video, and then field questions. So we'll get rolling. A takeaway that I would like you to take away from this conversation is, first of all, not all compliant or silicone materials are created equally. What that means is just because you see a covering on a roller that is orange-red, that doesn't mean it's of the quality that United Silicone is going to deliver to you. It doesn't mean it's going to be good to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. That doesn't mean it's going to have the tolerance, the roll tolerance or the TIR tolerance on your roller. That doesn't mean that it's going to be thermally conductive. And it doesn't mean it's going to have the lifespan. So again, just because it's orange-red in color doesn't mean it's going to be the quality that the silicone you're going to get from United Silicone. And we'll explain what that means to you. Now, when in the good old days when Brenda and I used to be out in your plants troubleshooting with your machines, the types of things that you brought to our attention are, first of all, things like the cost of replacing an entire roller, the core as well as the cover. You'd also come to us with the silicone to metal bond, the slippage that was occurring between the silicone and the core, the heat tolerance or lack thereof, meaning that the material was getting gummy, or was getting sticky as a result of either heat coming through the roller or residual heat. And just to give you an example, this is one of the types of rollers that we're talking about. Also, when the roller is supposed to be transferring heat through it, the material was not doing so. It was acting much more like an insulator, which is really what rubber or silicone rubber in its raw state will do. Also, challenges that we were seeing out there are longevity or lack thereof. We also see rollers becoming brittle and just not performing. We also get feedback that, say, you send in 3 or 4 rollers and their the OD of that roller, all rollers which are supposed to be the same, don't come back quite the same. So your performance is going to be affected adversely. And we also get questions about FDA or 3A dairy material. So, and we'll address most of those in in either the video or upcoming parts of the presentation. And the applications that we see are normally nip, pinch and feed, lamination, or heat seal. And as a matter of fact, this is probably a very good time to plug into the video that we'd like to show you, and then we'll follow up soon afterwards.
And as we're looking for the video, soon to start, coming features.
This is the story of Kim, a sustainability engineer for a food packaging plant that comes up with all kinds of creative ways to reduce environmental impact and waste. One day, Kim was checking over her inventory and realized she needed to order rollers and was about to call the OEM she always used to replenish her inventory. At that moment, she realized that the factory had consumed and discarded numerous rollers in the past year. It made her think about how many more rollers over the longevity of current projects would sit in landfills in the years to come. Kim began researching, and that's when she found a better way: recoatable rollers from United Silicone. With these, she would be able to salvage the cost of the machined metal cores in addition to keeping them out of the landfill. Now, instead of throwing away roller cores and coverings, Kim sends her worn-out rollers to United Silicone. USI will use their proprietary silicone-to-metal bonding process to recoat Kim's rollers with heat-tolerant silicone. Kim pays only for the cost of shipping and the new silicone coating. That's another win for Kim, doing her part to reduce negative environmental impact and her factory's waste. If you want to stop throwing away your rollers and be more like Kim, contact ISM, United Silicone's master distributor.
Well, what'd you think? Kim's pretty sharp. Now, let's just go back to the basics a little bit. You had a great explanation for why recovering your rollers will benefit the company over and above sustainability. What does it mean to recover rollers? Very simply, if you look at this roller and the quality of the core, what you see is if you send this roller back to United Silicone, we'll cut the rubber once you get to the point where you need to send it back, or it starts showing a little bit of wear, or if you have some kind of preventive maintenance program going on, you'd send a roller or rollers back to us. We'll cut the rubber off, take it off, prep the metal if it needs it, put on a new roller cover, mold it so it becomes attached to the core, and then send it back to you. That way you don't have to get rid of this finely machined core. That's an example. Here's another example. Not only can you see or get a better feel for the cover that's put on this roller, but you can also get a feel for the strength. And that's one of the benefits that United Silicone brings to the table. Our vulcanization process, our molding process, creates a very, very strong bond. Here's another look of a unique roller. What you'll probably see in the plant, those of you who are familiar with this, is you'll see 10, 15, 20 of these lined up in a row, moving material through your machine. Now, so some of the challenges that we get thrown to us is we get people in your position asking why their rollers aren't thermally conductive. And the bottom line is, if they should be, you have to look at your silicone. It's the material. Again, like I said in our opening comment, not all silicone is created equal. So with that comment, I think what we'll do is, Brenda, let's take a look at questions that we might have to present to the group.
We can do that. Again, with the idea, unfortunately, we're not live today because of the technical difficulties through PAC Expo. So this particular presentation is recorded. So we're prepared with some frequently asked questions to kind of softball over to you, Jim.
Okay.
And feel free to toss them back if you want me to field them. But you had mentioned about some of the tolerancing in the process of recoating. What tolerances can United Silicone hold for the OD, the run out, and some of the specific items?
Plus or minus 10 thou of an inch. If you have anything else to add to that, more specifically, what are your thoughts?
Sure. So, again, on the OD, you mentioned plus or minus 10 thou, specifically on the bigger, longer rollers, your big laminating rollers, depending on the application. When we get into some of the smaller rollers, the smaller formats, we can hold as tight as plus or minus 5 thou. When we talk about run out or TIR, it's the run out. It's basically the difference between an egg shape and a round shape. So for TIR, we hold up to about 3 thou. Jim had talked about the process of recoating, of molding. All of the rollers, after actually molding and bonding, vulcanizing, they're surface ground for a very smooth finish that allow us to hold those tolerances for the surface finish, the TIR, the run out, as well as the OD. Okay,
good. Thank you for that detail.
Touch a bit, Jim, on the different formulations for rollers. You talked about thermally conductive, and we certainly have that. Talk about some of the other formulations depending on the applications.
Okay. Well, we have a few. We have some that are really targeted toward. Well, they're all good to 550 degrees F. Some are focused more on thermal conductivity and the rapid recovery of heat. We also have FDA and 3A dairy silicone. And then we have some like the Ultrasil, like you see here, that's a little bit more adapted to universal applications. It's still thermally conductive, still good to 550 F.
In addition, we also offer some high strength materials. Understanding with rollers, and Jim touched on this, the different applications for rollers, not necessarily just heat sealing, but also for feeding the films through your different packaging applications, nip and feed and pinch and so on. So we do have some strength materials as well that compete very well with urethane while having the heat tolerance.
Excellent. Thank you. Any others right before we wrap up?
I think we'll end it there.
Okay.
Inviting everyone to chat with both you and I through the planner platform if we can do that, but we are being given the wrap-up signal. So if you want to take us into wrap-up.
Okay, thank you. Please look on the schedule and join us for any one of our other 3 demonstrations that are coming out: part support anvils, seal bars, as well as seal heads. Thank you for joining us.